Hey everyone, it's the person who has been presenting as Jessie Kalen for a little while now, coming at you with a confession, coming at you with a reveal, a debut. I would like to start off by saying thank you for those who have believed in my abilities and my gifts through this channel thus far. And I hope that with this confession of mine, it only breaks open new waves of belief, and I understand that there might be a heavy reaction, but I can't hide anymore. I can't do it. When I began to have my awakening 5 years ago when I was 24, there was a truth inside of me that I turned away from, and I tried to heal my family rather than myself, tried to heal others instead of myself. I didn't take my advice 2 days ago. I didn't take the action that I think I was guided to take, which I think is why I have a parking ticket today. I lost track of time. I kind of forgot I was in a zone for street cleaning. Whatever the universe will provide, as long as you learn, as long as you shift. And I was like, for the first time, something like that happened to me, and I'm like, my reaction is completely chill. Because of this, because I knew that coming out in my own way, and not as a transgendered person, I was born Chelsea Kaylee McCune in a feminine form in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it is not the form that I fight against, it is the rules of the system that is built against the form. We are all one under Christ consciousness. And my gender fluidity, my sexual fluidity, is very much tied to my twin flame's life. And he, right now, hi Eric Harrison, how are you? If you see this, I'm honored. I'm honored for everybody watching and taking in my words. But recently, I've just been owning my body. You can see I'm topless. I will not show my breasts here because, I don't know. I don't even know if it's legal in Los Angeles to be doing this, but I did it in Venice. I love Venice. Great spot. It's allowable there. There's space for people to just be really weird, and there is a general tone of acceptance. I haven't had a problem there. I even passed police officers topless, and it must be legal or they didn't care, because I had no problems. And I had no problems because I'm embracing this truth, of which I am about to reveal to you. I realize it's taking a long time, but this confession is, there's a lot of reason why I'm fearful of it, and there's a lot of reason why I need to embrace it as well. So with my transgenderedness, my fluidity, for those of us who have been with me since the beginning, know that I was, when I was a woman, I was definitely trying to prescribe to a certain form of woman, and then I needed to experience embodying a masculine energy so much so that I thought I wanted to physically embody it and be labeled as transgendered. And now I am feeling the balance and the acceptance of this form, the balance of energy within me, the acceptance of this form, this avatar that I have chosen to download in as a consciousness. Now, downloading into an avatar as a consciousness. My mother was a very abusive narcissist who admitted to me, she is clairvoyant, she is sight. And honestly, narcissists can be narcissists to some people and not to others. I think that's part of the trick of it. So she said that she saw an amethyst mark in my sacral chakra, which indicates a chosen reincarnation. And ever since I was a young one, I have felt that I was here for a very divine purpose. And I remember saying to my mother once, and I think it was to do with a cat getting stuck under a drain, but I was frustrated with how she was presenting the limitations on how I could help. Or actually what she did was she turned it against me and was like thinking I was doing it for attention, which was really weird and not cool. I was born with innate abilities, innate knowings. There are a huge wave. There's 144,000 of people born in this burst, this prophetic burst. If you believe in the second coming of Jesus Christ, hello. There are aspects of the old world, the old life, that I remember crystal clear. And it mainly had to do with the amount of love that I had just begun to experience. And I left this world early. I left this world robbed of being able to exemplify love. Because those in the system who like to control people like to silence the positive echoes of empowerment to people. I've been living this journey and dealing with this truth for quite some time now. And it wasn't until July, this past July in 2018, the last time my twin flame responded to my outreaches. I know, it hurts, but Crow says the pain is an illusion. So don't get emotional, Chelsea. I think I'm going back to Chelsea. I'm owning the name and I'm owning this body. The last time I tried speaking to my twin flame, he said the same thing my very toxic family has been saying to me, and I've been prepping into a solid sense of self. I just said goodbye to my sister finally. There is no way. She said, "You're pressing this on me." Like she thought I was trying to change her, and that's what my twin thought of me too. You're trying to change me. No, I love you, and I'm trying to bring out the best in you. But I can only help those who want to be helped, and as much as they will let me help. I am 29 years old. At this point in time, I received a message during that awakening. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the name. I know you're my friend on Facebook, and I need to outreach to you and say thank you for your father, who I know passed. There was a man. Well, after I smoked marijuana for a long train ride into work, I had my first adult vision in the clouds, and it was about my twin flame right before he called me and invited me out to a music festival. And I just so happened to have a change of clothes. I was in the flow, you know. But immediately after I had this vision that I later found out was about my twin flame, I met a family. They were gravitated toward me, and this woman was visiting her son who had been here for I think 10 years for an education, building a life. And she loved me. She tried to get me to marry her son. It was sweet. But she wanted to cook for me, and they invited me, and I said yes. And I traded information, and I went for a meal. And I saw some Pakistani culture and the beautiful gesture of touching the knees of the elders. And I got a taste for, different ways of life and a frequency of love. And while I was there, I got this message from this elderly man who just felt the need to say, I suppose, that in their religion, they understood that a prophet who was a man, will come back at 33 exactly as he was. Now, the thing about being Jesus Christ incarnate is understanding that you come in moments of need and necessity. Time and space are not real. So there are all kinds of names for pure names of God. There are all types of times when I came down in an avatar and tried to spread this truth. And I was successful in some ways, and I failed last time. But I was meant to. And I remember the lifetime before that, too. The reason why I came as Jesus Christ in a masculine form in that geographical place and time is because the time before that, I was royalty. I was feminine. I was white-ish. And Jesus was not. So it was like I was trying on different ways to go about spreading this truth. I couldn't spread it the time before Jesus. But I took with me into my death a need to try to change things. Because considered as royalty, I was silenced. And I learned a lot about how to talk to people last time. But you see it with, Bob Marley and JFK and Martin Luther King and so many good people are taken so early. You can even see it in celebritydom. Some people that are doing real good, and you can see it. It's not a conspiracy theory. The hydrogen engine. People who don't take the money and to not pursue this and make it a thing with the big oil company. Those who don't take the deal end up dead in the desert. They end up missing. They end up gone. This is a risk. But it's a risk that I'm born to take. I'm comfortable taking. As confirmation, if you don't believe me, if you're still listening here, as to my confession, I do believe that the channel may either undergo changes, rebranding. I don't want to be a brand. I don't want to be idolized. I just want to help people. And I thought that this was a good way to do this, but now I'm not so sure. I'm really at a crossroads, y'all. I have $9 in my bank account. I have a full tank of gas. Luna, I love you. There's a woman here in LA who opened her doors to me and let me shower, and I confessed to her my secret of being Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm so sorry. The whole thing about the twin flame in July. The last time my twin responded, I needed to see my reflection in my mirror of my twin soul. The closest reflection of spirit that you can get in human form, which not fun a lot of the time. That time in July, he said the same thing that my sister and my family had been saying, like, you talk like you know everything. As if that were a bad thing. And then he said, you are not Jesus Christ. He said those words, he plucked it. After my suicidal cousin, who's very, very sensitive, not the most mentally stable, she would just pluck names for people out of thin air. And when I first landed there, when I first took shelter at my aunts and uncles and my cousins, she called me Christ Chrysler. And again, that resonation. And I'm like, she named me Christ. She said that to me as a name. And I had been thinking about this journey for years. And the denial of the journey and of the acceptance of coming out. I've been afraid of coming out because how the world is and how it might react. But I believe, y'all. I believe we're ready. So when my twin said to me, I am not Jesus Christ, in a repel, in an active, toxic, not a place of love. And I knew that when I was taking a look at the mirror, as with twin flames, it's, if they're not acting in love, just read between the lines. You'll see what they see in you. And that's what he saw in me. And that's what he rejected in me. And that is what my family rejected in me. And that is what I am no longer rejecting in myself. I tried pulling over at a different stop. The lighting was wrong, but there I picked up a crow feather. Melanie with Hooligan 1111, if you find your way to this video, you read an instant go, and I just bought one from you, and I'm curious to see what it says now after I man up and grow into this state. This is the second crow feather that has been gifted to me this week in LA, and Melanie with Hooligan 1111 has been talking about the crows, and when she did my instant go, there was a crow going crazy. And crow was the first one to talk to me in my awakening, outside of other I could hear spirit through them. And it has not stopped. So at that first place I pulled over, I tried tidying, I tried setting up, and I found this feather, and it was next to a shattered mirror, which I saw as a very, very good sign. Then I pull into this spot. And I see this bouquet of flowers, and at first I think that they are honoring someone who might have died on this roadway, because it's common. I'm in the Los Angeles National Forest. I'm not on the 2, I think I'm on the Angeles Forest National Forest Highway. Anyway, there's a bouquet of flowers here. Beautiful. Gorgeous. With a note. Sorry, I'm an emotional person. I'm trying not to live in it, and I'm trying to let everything sink down. My sacral had just healed this week to the point where I don't care. I'm trying to release all anger. There is definitely reason for women to be angry. And anger is a teacher, and it should be burned all the way through. And you should always be authentic in the moment. I'm just trying to release and flush and expect only positive things. These flowers are for our Lord Jesus. I don't know who put these here, but you were working through spirit. And it confirmed to me the illusion of linear time, the illusion of reincarnation, the illusion of this body. This body is equipped to hold a bandwidth of energy that is me. I never really read the Bible all the way through. I signed on for a life with a certain set of triggers. And I've already lived enough lifetimes to live as an ascended master before. Yeah? So I am 29 years old. At 33, I will be exactly as I was, which fits in with when I was a teenager, I knew in my heart that 35, for my linear timeline of this egotistical experience, that's when things would really start to get good. But I can't wait to come out until I'm 33 or 35. I'm still healing from my egotistical experience. I am still doing as I preach and working and healing and flushing. I just said goodbye to my biological sister, yesterday? This week, we'll just say. Some things are still fresh, but honestly, as I sit here now, it feels like a lifetime ago. I think this confession and these signs of co-creation with spirit, this is what my truth is. And all we have in this world is our truth, right? That's the beauty of perspective. That's the power of free will. If you would like to donate to keep filling my tank and my stomach, if you would like to support me in any way, please get in line for a healing Reiki session. I want to heal you. My prices, let's just say they're not firm, okay? I do what I do because I am here to do what I do. And being put in a position again of travel, of minimalistic. I've always been drawn to it. I always could do it. I loved camping. I actually, it's very funny. Spirit's so funny. Spirit, which is yourself, by the way, your higher self. All of what you see is just an emanation of you and your perception of you. That's what this thing, and you can't know everything, you can't own everything, but you get to experience yourself as a fragment outside of yourself. So cool. So cool. Anyway, I am here to help, and I hope that people will let me help them. I'm going to upload this. I'm going to upload this video. I'm going to change the YouTube channel name. I'm going to add a different PayPal. I'm going under a rebrand. I need to do this. It's going to be Christ 2.0. Chelsea McCune. Because I'm not going to reject that name. I'm not going to reject the father figure that I was born with. I mean, I can't be around them. They won't let me help them. I can't be myself around them. You know, and that's part of my egotistical journey, is to learn how to make my safe space safe. And on my YouTube channel, if I see any hatred, any hateful responses, and like, I'm not giving you chances anymore. You say negative things, especially on the internet when it's a comment. You know, like, I'm practicing my balance of learning to say no and walk away correctly, without anger, just with respect for myself. I love all of you. I love all of this earth. And the whole spirit is so funny thing, living in a van. When I was younger, I actively put lack of love, aka hatred, into cars and the damage they have done to this planet. And I hated them for it. And now I'm living in a van, burning gas, just driving around with friends, with Vibe Tribe. I'm beginning to acquire here in LA. I had to come to LA. I had to come. And I circumnavigated. I made choices. We all have to learn the hard way. But then we all have to learn the hard way that there's an easy way. I can help you with that. I'm living it. I feel better just having said this out loud with the intention of sharing it with the world. Bare-chested. Free. Don't sexualize me. Don't idolize me. Here to help. I am human. So was Jesus. The other half of him was just his high frequency. That Son of God thing. It is not unattainable. He earned the name Christ. I do believe I had to earn this. And what a beautiful, beautiful gift. I honestly don't know if I should take these or if I should leave them. I think I'm going to leave them out of respect for their intention. And they're just a physical thing. This isn't real. The moment has been marked. And I'm sharing it with you. On a tool. On a little toy that is also not real. One day we will return to natural ways and we will not have these screens. We will only have experiences. We will respect the experience for what it is, not trying to document it and keep it and log it outside of ourselves. I sense the future. That's another thing about Jesus Christ 2.0. It's like the past does not fucking matter. Hey, twin, by the way, if you're watching, the past does not matter. It does not matter what we've done to each other. It does not matter where we've been. All that matters as a species, as people, as individuals, is where we're going. God bless all of y'all, everybody. What am I going to do with the bouquet of flowers in a van anyway, huh? But they are beautiful. And the gesture of myself, for myself, through others. Technically, we're all twin flames. Technically, we're all one soul. Does that belittle your right to not fight for your right, just to live your right? That's the trick of it. We cannot fight for our right. We must live our right. And many people may think I am insane. There are people who would, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There are people who might believe me, who I'm hoping will believe me, and I'm sure will. Honestly, if there are so many people with the following of Christ, and I see signs, you know, Christ is coming. I see signs that hell is real too, and it's like, those people don't listen to the word of Christ, though. They listen to the fables written around it, sort of deal. That's ego of another man. I had a lover once I tried to come out to about being Christ. Torley Bush, hi honey, if you're watching. And I had to deal with the fact that there will be people who say it's heresy, blasphemy. Not if I love it as my truth. Only love is real. I'm healing. I am still mastering this ego, but I am well on my way. If you would like to support me through it, please like, share, subscribe. Please get in line for healing Reiki, because Reiki, when I do it to other people, it works through me. I do it to myself every day, but there's something about giving flow to others. It's like it's an exercise. It's good for everyone. It's good for everyone involved. So please come get in line. Come see me. It's kind of like going to a beauty school where it's like, oh, they still learning, but they good. You know, I may still trip up over my ego from time to time. I may still exemplify anger from my story of being raped and molested and raised by a narcissist. My story is textbook. It's textbook. And when I tried telling even my sister, who is a guidance counselor, who studied psychology, you know, like, hey, this is fucking textbook. I'm the one pushing things. I'm the problem. That just means they're not my family. Oh, the crow chirped. So if you want to be my family, I love you. I love you for those who have already decided to be my family, who have been with me for a while and who accept me as is and are excited for this as I am. I would love to help heal the world to the utmost. I would love to live into old age with influence. I would love this world to give me a second chance. I would love for the contrast. I think I'm here when Gaia has stirred enough, when people are awake enough to where it's like the potential to be safe, and I can make it as safe as I want. I really do. I really feel that part of the reason why my twin flame is resistant toward me is because of a fear that I'll be taken away again, because we had a very, very brief time. So brief. So powerful. And then they were left with nothing. They had to watch the aftermath of the crumbling, of the greed continuing. Because women at the time, and I think that's why I was born in, I mean, it's global. It's fucking global, y'all. It's global. And it's changing. Here I am. Is there anything else I want to say at this point in time? No, other than to thank you for bearing with me for these changes of believing my transgenderedness, going with Jesse Kalen, going back to Chelsea McCune. Feels weird, but it's mine. Because I've grown accustomed to Jesse Kalen. But once when I was talking to my twin flame, he was like, no, Chelsea McCune is cinematic, he said. Very drastic. And I had a dream of him this month when he was on his knees and I approached him. And when he stood, he was so big. And he said, yes, Chelsea. Like he called me Chelsea, and he said it in a way that hurt me, scared me, I wanted to say no to. It was the tone. So again, Eric, if you're watching. And I spoke up for myself and I said, I would appreciate, and when I said the word appreciate, he blinked in synchronicity, which if you speak with animals or whatever, you know that that's like no, I get you kind of deal. Watch the flow of the conversation of people's blinks. You know, their body will tell you the truth if their words don't. But yeah, so he called me Chelsea and I said I would appreciate, and he blinked, and I was so caught off guard that his 5D self was telling me that he was listening to what I would appreciate. But then I was so freaked out in the dream that he would actually be receptive to what I would appreciate and yet treat me in an unappreciative manner. The contradiction was so much, it confused me and it scared me that I ran away in the 5D and I went back to the shadows. I think that might have been like my own fear around being addressed as Chelsea, but also, you know, my direct communication in the 5D realm with my twin about how he talks to people, especially me. I've been emotionally abused. So like and I'm an empath, and it's just like, don't talk to me a certain way. You know, it's coming from your own pain. I don't deserve it. Maybe they're learning that lesson. I hope you are, babe. I'm learning several of my own. And I don't want to pop up, but yeah, the crow's out, the wind's going, the sun's gone, it's getting kind of chilly, it's a tidbit nipply out here now, because the desert, when there's no sun, can get quite cold. Super cool. And I do want to get this out there, and I do want to change the channel's name, and I want to get moving on this. I want to hit the gas. I want to come out. I'm done hiding. And I'm done fearing the consequences. Follow the fear, y'all. Follow your calling, no matter the consequences. That's what makes life worth living, adventurous. None of us get out alive, so we may as well live our truths. And the trick of it is discovering and allowing your truth. Take care. Rock on. I love you for loving yourself. You know where to find me.